Next up is Chris Rawlings, the founder of Sophie Society, which has helped over 650 companies dominate Amazon's US, European, and Japanese markets. In 2018, Amazon actually solidified itself as the third largest digital ad platform in the United States and has continued to keep its spot since then. So it's important for you to understand how specific business types can profit directly or indirectly from advertising on Amazon. In a few moments, he's going to break down the key concepts that he's learned and profited from, including the 9 types of Amazon advertising and how to choose the right one for your business, and the types of companies that can profit directly or indirectly from Amazon marketing. Without further ado, Chris, the stage is yours.
What's going on, guys? Chris Rawlings here, the Amazon guy with a man bun. And I am super excited to be talking to you guys this year at AdWorld about the future of advertising on Amazon. This is a super exciting topic, a super trending topic, and you guys are going to learn a lot during this very short presentation. I condensed as much as I possibly could into this short presentation to give as much value for you guys as possible. So, before we start into the meat of this presentation, let me just tell you about my story and why I'm qualified to talk to you about the future of Amazon advertising in the first place. So, if there's one word to describe me while I was growing up, it would be the word nerd. Nerd's the word. I was a super nerd, really into physics. My favorite show was Nova. Loved figuring out and pondering the universe and galaxies and the sun and our solar system and what things are made of and what the atoms that make up things are made of and everything else nerdy and inquisitive and curious. That was my childhood. These pictures that you see here, one of them is I built a parabolic solar reflector out of free AOL CDs that I would steal from Blockbuster. That tells you how old I am. And formed them into a parabolic reflector that could light anything on fire in seconds just from the light of the sun. It was awesome. Some bullies ended up actually breaking that, and I cried. That was a sad time. The other picture that you see here is I installed a hidden James Bond-style paintball gun behind the bumper of my car with an arcade button under my dashboard that was hidden by a 3D printed box and a switch that would activate it, so I could be the bringer of justice on the highways. So as you could see, I basically funneled my nerdiness into creativeness, and I took my nerdiness and became a creator with it. You can see here all of my 3D printed artwork, my functional desktop art that I would 3D print. This is one of the first ever Bitcoin operated pieces of hardware, Bitcoin operated beer vending machine that I created a prototype of in 2012. And I also created music and actually toured around the country in Canada and France playing ska music as well. So got to funnel my creativity and my nerdiness into the creation of things outside myself. But I hit a wall when I came out of college and joined the workforce and realized that I could only go so far creating things with my own 2 hands and my own brain, and that if I really wanted to make impact in the world, I had to learn how to create and optimize human systems and people. And so I'm like, oops, I just spent 2+ decades of my life studying science, getting a degree in physics, and I was completely ignoring people this whole time. So working in the solar industry, I got the opportunity to start an offshoot of the company, and I learned through the School of Hard Knocks over the course of a couple years the art of entrepreneurship and business and human systems, not just solar systems. And so I turned myself from a creator of things to a creator of human systems, including companies. And that led me on the road that brings me here today to be able to talk to you about the future of advertising on Amazon. After my stint in solar, I launched an e-commerce brand that I grew to 7 figures. I ended up between then and now founding 5 different multi-million-dollar ventures. I've launched over 2,000 products on Amazon.com between my own brands and brands that have come through my launch platform software. I've raised over $5 million in VC funding. That's me actually in Silicon Valley at the Startup Accelerator 500 Startups. And that's where I co-founded a crypto fund called 22X Fund as well. So had a lot of business adventures since I made that first realization way back then. And that brings me to today. So the reason I can talk to you about Amazon advertising is because I run and have founded Sophie Society, which is a company that optimizes Amazon ads for companies and runs and manages Amazon ads for companies, and also optimizes Amazon content and Amazon listing content for companies. So we have both sides of the equation, the traffic and the conversion, all focused on Amazon. So you can see here we do Amazon listing content. That's some example of some of the content that we create for Amazon listings. And then we have Amazon ad management. So we all know in digital marketing, if you have the traffic and you convert the traffic, that's the whole picture. You, congratulations, now have a business. And that's why those are the two things that we focus on. Copy for conversion of traffic and getting the traffic in the first place. So what I'm going to be talking about right now is all learnings from managing tens of millions of dollars in Amazon ad spend and uploading thousands of product listings and launching thousands of products on Amazon. So you're getting the knowledge, getting the predictions right from the source. So let's start with bringing us up to date. Amazon advertising begins in 2012. Very primitive, even by 2014, still quite basic and very early days, but starting to really be adopted by sellers. I remember in 2014, 2015, it was like the average budget was like, or the max budget was like $10 a day. And I mean, now you can do orders of magnitude higher than that. And it was super profitable too. Just like when all these new ad platforms launched, there are some really big early wins and successes you can have. By 2017, we'd gotten already Amazon display ads added to that, video ads, sponsored products in different parts of the platform. And by 2019, the platform had actually really matured and it had become a not just optional, but a required part of selling on Amazon as a brand and succeeding. You could see here, it's interesting to see the trajectory of this, because what do we think of when we think of digital advertising? We think of Google and we think of Facebook. That's the quote-unquote duopoly. Well, in 2019, you could see the duopoly had 60.9% of the market, while Amazon had 7.6%. That means 7.6% of the digital ad spending in the US. By 2020, they'd increase it to 8.6%. Now, as you're watching this, it's over 10%. So they're not only growing, but they're growing in relation to the other companies that are also growing as ad platforms on the internet. So they're growing at a faster rate is what that means. So now is the time to pay attention to this, to learn it, to master it, and to understand what the trajectory of Amazon advertising is. And that's what we're going to jump into. So who can benefit from Amazon advertising? Well, the most obvious answer is brands, because brands sell on Amazon. That means consumer products brands, physical things that are sold online, e-commerce brands, or brands that have an e-commerce branch. That's the most ideal still. A lot of Amazon's advertising tools and channels are meant for brands specifically, and specifically for brands that sell on Amazon. But it's not all for brands. There is a lot of opportunity through Amazon advertising to advertise other types of businesses, not just brands that sell on Amazon. Ideally B2C businesses, but even B2B businesses can leverage Amazon advertising. And I'm going to show you guys how, what the different types are, and which ones apply to which types of companies. So let's walk through what each of the types of Amazon advertising are. These are the main types. Now, it's a little fuzzy what Amazon considers one of their advertising channels. Some of these you'll see are actually free resources But let's walk through them. So sponsored products, I put this in order of importance. Sponsored products is probably the most important one by far. This is when you search something on Amazon, it's the first few results that come up. They're not organically ranked for that keyword. They are ads. And I'm sure everyone has seen these. I'm going to show you where these show up on the platform. They show up in search and they also show up in some other places on the platform. Sponsored brands is a way to not advertise products, but advertise brands themselves. Again, this is on Amazon.com, their own website. Once we get down into some of these other numbers, there are other sources where the ads show and other channels that Amazon has as part of their advertising network. Sponsored brands is on Amazon. Instead of advertising the product, they're advertising the brand itself. It includes a logo, it can include a catchphrase, and it can include other content, and it can include products in there. This is what you see above search results, and I'll show you that in a couple minutes as well. Then there's sponsored video. Sponsored video shows up down in the search results, in the middle of search results. So, and the video is muted by default, but you could turn on the sound and play it. This is super powerful right now. This is a really big opportunity to get into Amazon Video. Then there's sponsored display. Now, sponsored display ads can be on or off Amazon. They could be on Amazon listings, they could be in Amazon search results, or they could be on a publisher's site. And I'll show you a couple examples of this as well. Amazon has a whole network of real estate they can show these sponsored display ads on. Then there's Amazon DSP, that's demand side platform. This is Amazon's programmatic ad buying. You have to buy into this and you have to be advertising at a certain minimum level to be able to take advantage of this platform. But these can show all over, all different sites, all over the internet that Amazon owns or controls, and also on places like Fire Stick TV and things of that nature. Then there's audio ads. Audio ads show up in Alexa while you're listening to a playlist or songs or anything else in Alexa. You can play audio ads there. These apply to both businesses again. Then storefronts, Amazon considers part of their advertising. You actually can, now they're beta testing sponsored storefronts, but in general, storefronts are free. It's like a Shopify site inside Amazon. You create it, it has branding, all kinds of content options. There's a module builder, WordPress style builder where you can build out the site. Then there's posts. This is in beta. This is a new option for Amazon sellers. It's basically looks just like a Facebook post, image, text, and then product. So it's a way to kind of get creative. And right now, this is still in beta. Amazon is still testing. You have no control over where this shows up on the platform. It's Amazon only. And then there's Amazon Live Video. Again, this is a resource. This is pretty new. Just came out just over a year ago. And you can live stream on Amazon. And all of these new beta features speak to a direction that Amazon is going in general that can show you what to do now to prepare for Amazon advertising condition tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now. And we're going to get into that. So which of these is right for brands and which of these is right for any other type of business? Sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored video, storefronts, posts, and Amazon Live Video, they're all still best if you are a brand selling on Amazon. Some of these you can only utilize if you're a brand selling on Amazon. But sponsored display, Amazon DSP, audio ads, these can be utilized by any business. And Amazon is investing heavily in these advertising platforms and these channels because it wants to attract more businesses. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity there for both Amazon sellers and non-Amazon selling businesses. Now, I want to make another delineation between these types. Some of these are search-based, and some of these are interest-based or browse-based advertising. So the search ones are sponsored products, show up in search results, sponsored brands, mostly search results, sponsored video, also mostly in search results. Then the browser interest-based ones, there's sponsored display. This just shows up all around the internet when you're browsing, reading articles, checking out other listings, things of that nature. Amazon DSP too shows up all over the place. Audio ads, you're trying to listen to music and then they just come up, right? You're not searching for anything. Storefronts, again, you can drive traffic to this all kinds of ways, but it's something for people to browse and consume content. Amazon Live Video, again, as well. It's going to be Amazon shoppers who are clicking around looking for entertainment, essentially. And then posts, again, Amazon just shows this in random places. It's still in beta. They're browsing around and they happen across your post on a related brand or on one of your other products in your brand. Search-based, a lot more like Google. Browse-based, a lot more like Facebook. There are pros and cons to both of these styles, and that should inform which type of Amazon advertising you're really going for. Search-based advertising, it's great for utility solutions, something that clearly solves a really big, imminent problem, something that's price competitive. Obviously, people just need to be searching for this product or solution or problem in general. There could be innovation in the product. It could be new and innovative, but usually not revolutionary. Majority of high volume sales are coming from the search-based advertising on Amazon and not the browser interest-based advertising types and advertising inventory from Amazon advertising. The browser interest-based advertising, you'll notice, what's the difference in the ads that you see on Google and on Amazon from the ads that you see on Instagram, right? You're going to notice a big difference there. For browser interest-based advertising, it's really good for new or novel solutions that people don't even know about, so how could they ever search for it? It's great for unknown solutions and brand new paradigms. It's really good for innovative solutions. It's good for sexy, new, cool products. It's great for higher end or luxury products that are maybe lower volume, much higher margin. And it's good for loud, attention-grabbing campaigns and products as well. So let's actually take a real look at what this advertising looks like. And then we're going to get into what it's going to look like. That's the exciting stuff. So this, as of now, here's what happens when you search a term on Amazon. The first thing you see at the top, that is sponsored brands. That's what we were talking about, sponsored brands. You can see there's a logo there. There's a catchphrase there. They have products, example product listings baked into there. You don't have to do that. You can do that. There are a lot of different ways you could do sponsored brand ads. Then there's sponsored products. That is all of this top row. And sometimes it's even more than that, depending on the search term and the search volume of the term. But you could see I've circled there the sponsored little icon. That lets you know that these are ad placements. And I'm sure all of you have seen this. The interesting thing to note here is that the entire page above the fold is ads. When you search something for Amazon, before you scroll, you see actually nothing but ads. And some people don't realize that. This is all ads. The entire page of your search results is ads until you scroll. And sometimes even when you scroll, you get another line of ads. So this is super important because people are very likely to buy what they first see or one of the first things they see when they search on Amazon, which is why this is extremely important for brands to master this and master how to get placement and where to get placement, how to optimize their bids, optimize their budgets, negative exact keyword match, all of that stuff. Here's an example of sponsored video. Sponsored video ads show up generally in the middle of search results. So you scroll down and the sponsored video will show up there and you can click it to turn on sound and play. This is a super big opportunity in Amazon advertising. Sponsored video is great and has really, if you do it right, it can have a really big impact and a really high ROI. And I think a lot of businesses are not utilizing this that really should. Then there's product placement ads. This is also part of sponsored products, but this is the part that doesn't show up in search results. Right now what you're seeing is scroll down on a listing. Once you've clicked a listing on Amazon and you scroll down, this is what you start to see. And a lot of you, just as consumers, are, I'm sure, familiar with this interface. Now, there are multiple lines on a listing that are actually ads. So it says sponsored products related to this item. This is part of the sponsored product placement ads inside sponsored products channel of Amazon advertising. Now, these two spots on a listing are actually different. These two spots are sponsored display ads, a completely different network. And these ads can show up on Amazon or off Amazon. So these very same ads may be showing up on these two spots. You see underneath the bullets and then underneath the buying options. That's where the sponsored display ads show up. So these are two completely different channels, two totally different channel accounts. And these ads, unlike the sponsored products and sponsored brands, these ones can show up on other channels that Amazon controls. Like this example. Okay, so here's an article. Very same ad showing up on the article on desktop and on mobile. Now, if you're a brand selling on Amazon, I can tell you as the founder of a company that manages ads for all different sizes and scales of Amazon accounts, on average, about 30% of a brand's revenue is coming from advertising on Amazon now. And that's pretty big. That's up from years ago when I started selling on Amazon myself in 2015 when I started my brand. This number might have been 5% or at most 10%. Now it's averaging around 30%. Now some companies do less, some companies do more. We have companies that get 50% of their overall revenue, overall Amazon revenue from clicks on their ads. So their ad revenue versus organic revenue is 50-50. And sometimes even more than that in some very extreme cases. That's mostly for consumable products. But as you can see, this is now not optional. For brands at least that are trying to sell on Amazon, you can't ignore it. You have to master it. It's one of the core components of being successful in selling on Amazon. And there are a lot of reasons for that, a couple of which I'll get into in a little bit. Now, let's do a recap before I get into the future stuff, which I'm about to do. Let's do a recap on the current state of Amazon advertising. So I'd say Amazon now is something like Google 6 or 7 years ago in terms of the maturity of the platform, the maturity of the tools given to advertisers, the maturity of the tools given to agencies that manage ads for lots of companies like ours, the maturity of the network itself. It's the most similar to Google. It's not very similar to Facebook because most of it is search-based still. So it's if you know Google advertising, you're much more likely to pick up Amazon advertising very quickly. Whereas if you're accustomed to Facebook interest-based, demographic targeting on Facebook and Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, you're less likely to pick it up quickly. It's much more similar to Google, but way back in time, which is why it's such a big opportunity. It's still fairly primitive in the interface, and it's come a long way, I'll say that. But I'll show you guys one of the advertising dashboards for Amazon PPC, pay-per-click, sponsored products in a little bit. On Amazon, advertising is highly competitive. Okay, a lot of brands are advertising at break even or at a loss just so that they can get the clicks and the purchases that hopefully will lead to better ranking on Amazon. So it's super duper competitive, especially when you get into brands where they know their lifetime value and they have really good follow-up and repeat purchases with their customers. Those can be super competitive because they're willing to way outspend their customers that don't, or their competitors that don't know their LTV and they don't know what their repeat purchase rate is. Most of the dollars are still going towards sponsored products and sponsored brands out of all of the things that I mentioned to you, but Amazon is pushing all of those channels really, really hard right now. So let's get into where we're heading. Where are we going with Amazon advertising? What's the future of it? So we're going to see a lot more control, and Amazon is already testing this stuff out, especially with Amazon DSP, which is only available to select advertisers. But you're going to have way more control over who sees the ad, when they see the ad, how you get metrics and data back from the ads that you're running, how you can split test, how you can split up campaigns into different ads, ad groups, campaign types, and portfolios. The actual platform for allowing you to control and manipulate your ads is going to get much more mature. More creativity. This is the key one. When Amazon first launched its advertising years back, it was really just you tell them which products you have already live on Amazon that you want to advertise, and then they just show the listing at the top of search results. There was zero room for creativity, zero at all. You just tell them the SKU, and then they put it up, and you set the bid, and you put it up. It was purely mathematical. More and more, especially over the last year and 2 years, Amazon has made it clear that they're willing to inject more potential for creativity in your ads. So now you're going to be able to inject more visual content, more copy, more video content, and you can see that with the rise of Amazon Video. You can see that with the rise of Amazon Posts. You're going to have a lot more room for creativity in the ads on Amazon. More interaction. You can see this background of this slide, you can see is an Amazon Live video. This is what it looks like on Amazon Live, if any of you guys have not checked it out. On the right side, you can see there's a chat box, and everyone is chatting, interacting with the brand owner, in this case, who's presenting. So there's going to be a lot more interaction, even on listings themselves on Amazon. There's a lot more interaction in the enhanced content in the middle. There's they've been beta testing hover over features and clickable features so that companies can interact even on the listing. And of course, they have question and answer section on the listing. So there's going to be more interaction between company and customer through their advertising platforms. And of course, a ton more traffic. Amazon advertising is growing very, very, very quickly. It's like a rocket ship. And this is really the golden period right now to get involved, because right now is where it's mature enough to be very effective and quite targeted, but it's not gained the same share of overall internet advertising that Google and Facebook have, so it doesn't get as much attention. So if you master it now, think of where you'll be in 3 to 4 years. This is the time to master it, and it's highly effective already for both brands and non-consumer products brands businesses. So let's talk about Amazon advertising next year. Again, creativity is going to be crucial. Video ads are crushing it right now if they're done the right way. We are encouraging all of our brands to use videos because if you make a good one and it's done the right way, it can perform extremely well and have really high ROI. Then there's going to be a lot more browse-centered options. We could see Amazon just freeing up inventory and freeing up real estate all over the platform, even on its home page, different spots on the listings themselves, in Amazon Live Video and its other features like Launchpad. There's going to be a lot more places for browsing advertising, not just in search results. And this is really, really key. If you're a brand and you're selling on Amazon, selling your products on Amazon, you're almost for sure focusing all of your efforts, or a majority of your efforts, on your Amazon PPC, your search-based sponsored products that show up in search. But Amazon is clearly gunning and putting tons of resources towards getting their shoppers to browse around the platform, to watch videos, to go on pages of influencers that have their dedicated influencer Amazon pages, to interact with content in live video, to interact with posts. They're trying to get shoppers to entertain themselves on the platform, not just use it as a utility solution to solve simple problems. And Amazon is gunning really hard to do this. If Amazon wants something, it normally gets it. So this is a really good indicator that it's time to master the browse or interest-centered options for Amazon advertising, and not just what's now the bread and butter, which is the search-based. Video is going to get more and more important. I really think this is like the golden age for video advertising on Amazon. And 5 years from now, people are going to be talking about, oh, remember how great it was in 2021 when, you could have such high ROIs and it wasn't that much competition for Amazon video ads. It's still like that. This is a really big opportunity, and it's going to be huge in 2022. And the brands that can figure out the formulas for the videos and the bidding for the videos that produce high ROIs, they're going to win and get tons and tons of traffic. Posts and creative copy are going to be pushed a lot further. More opportunity is definitely going to open up for other types of businesses, not just brands. And it's going to be a more sophisticated platform for advertisers themselves to be able to actuate the changes in the ads in general. Amazon advertising is experiencing exponential growth. This is the Statistica for projection for Amazon advertising revenue. You can see the 2021 projection is $26 billion. The 2026 projection is $85 billion. That's not linear growth. That is exponential growth. That's a curve, ladies and gentlemen, not a line. So now's the time to get in on Amazon advertising, and it's already reaching so many people that it's already effective, but yet it's early days. It's like, imagine if you mastered, Google ads in 2010. Where would you be now? Now's the time, if you're not already in it, to master it, or at least find people and work with people that have mastered it so that they can start getting you up there. Now let's jump ahead a couple more years. Amazon advertising in 2024. By this time, there's going to be an array of useful outlets for non-brand businesses, and it's not going to be mostly brands, not just mostly brands, I mean. Right now, other businesses besides brands can already advertise effectively across Amazon's advertising platforms and channels, but still it's mostly brands that are utilizing it. This is going to change by 2024. The display network is going to increase exponentially. So the network of different inventory and real estate all around the internet that Amazon controls or gets their hands on is going to increase massively. So think about it now and start mastering it now before it's too late. Programmatic ad buying is going to increase in sophistication pretty dramatically. Amazon's DSP is their programmatic ad buying platform. It's still not available to everyone. It's still quite a high threshold for a company to sign up. So I wouldn't call it beta, but it's still early days. This is going to mature leaps and bounds a couple years from now. There's going to be a lot more remarketing options. This is a huge opportunity, not yet a really big part of advertising on Amazon. And then there's going to be a lot more granular targeting. The ability to target certain times, certain interests, certain types of people is going to be a lot easier than just targeting keywords. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys got value out of that. Glad that you guys are here at AdWorld 2021 to hear from all these great speakers. Enjoy, everyone. This is Chris Rawlings, the Amazon guy, with a man bun. If you want to contact me, you are welcome to reach out to us at hello@sophiesociety.com. I'm copied on all these emails too. Happy to hear from you guys. Very grateful that you took the time to watch this presentation and would love to hear from you in the future. Good luck with advertising on Amazon. Peace out.